Matthew Kershaw, these women all have their pants on and none of them are Asian. What's wrong with this video?
Sorry, I was too busy watching Japanese porn.
I know, so was I. I had to fucking pause it to do this recording. Didn't want the schlocking sounds on my microphone.
Nobody's gonna understand this. Anyway, Mordheim, what the hell is this game? It looks like... the UI kind of looks like that Shadow of Mordor game.
I was just going to continue with this. Like, if you've been to GameDropZone.com, then you know why we're talking about Asian porn. But you're right, this is Shadow of... it's not Shadow of Mordor at all, you asshole.
I said it's not, but the UI looks like it.
I know, I just got... now I've got Shadow of Mordor in my head. That game's pretty good. This is Mordheim City of the Damned. It's a Warhammer property. It's an adaptation of a tabletop game that I think's like 15, 16 years old now. And we're playing as the Sisters of Sigmar, one of the 4 factions. This is
you got it, sister!
This is the equipment slash customization slash leveling. I just wanted to show this off just to show how like complex the stats were. Like, what are we looking at now? We're looking at like their base stats down the left, I think. We just had a bit of customization there. They've got item slots, and this is the magic system. See all those different subcategories of spells you can have on the top? Fucking so many spells. I haven't got enough money for any of them. And like basically it's a squad strategy game, so you're building up a squad of people, kind of XCOM style. You can name them, write little bios about them and stuff. 4 factions. We've got the Sisters of Sigmar, we've got Chaos, with the really hot people who don't wear any clothing and have like tentacles growing out of them. We've got the Skaven, you know, the rat people. I don't know if you've seen any
Can't say that word.
I'm sorry, the long-tail people.
There you go, you've given me bad luck by saying that.
Have you seen any of Warhammer End Times Vermintide, that Left 4 Dead game?
No.
Well, it's like actually a big hit. It sold 30,000 copies, sorry, which is big for a PC game like that. Like, it only came out like a week ago, and it's basically like Left 4 Dead, but with Skaven and Imperial people. So this game has Skavens and Imperials, Imperials being the 4th faction. And yeah, so you see this like orb we've got on the floor, that sort of denotes 1 point of movement. It sort of uses action points, you know, like XCOM.
Yeah.
But it's kind of built for a controller in a really weird way. Like you can see there, I have to cycle through abilities, so from a PC perspective, it's kind of a bit shitty. But it's actually pretty well put together. It's currently in early access and coming out this month. This week, I think. Or in the next week.
You got fucked up by that guy, by the way.
I did, that was a critical hit, so I'm now stunned. Which means if I do wake up the next turn, then I'll have, like, reduced action points. Which is never good. This game is fucking brutal, by the way. I've played, like, 10 to 15 hours off the early access version. And I've restarted the game about 6 times. And I'm playing on, like, I think there's, like, normal or hard. I could be making that up. That might just be for skirmishes, but... yeah, it's fucking difficult.
It looks kind of hard-ish. It reminds me of that game that came, like, you know the one where you're in like a glass, not a glass, like a goblet or something.
Massive chalice.
Massive chalice. You're in a chalice. That's it. It reminds me of that kind of.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same kind of principles. It's not grid-based, obviously. You can move wherever you want in those orbs. But yeah, it's harder than that, I thought. I mean, Massive Chalice, you at least get off to a good start. In this game, you can have your entire party wiped in, like, the first mission.
Yeah.
Depending on how you roll. You do have to require patience and, like... sometimes you just gotta be like, well, I'm gonna waste these, like, next 3 turns moving my people together. You know, really slowly, like, doing ambushes on each corner. Ambush is effectively Overwatch. But for melee units. You can Overwatch with ranged units as well. It's a pretty good unit variety, like, they spaced them out really well. So, for example, like you only have access to like 2 types. You've got your main, the woman that we were just controlling a minute ago with the shield. She's like your leader. This woman on the screen right now, she's my hero. And then I had like 2 other classes, and that was like my entire party initially. But eventually you get to like a lot of different subclasses and stuff, which is pretty impressive considering the 4 different factions. All of them are very, very distinct. Skaven have like rat ogres and stuff, and the Chaos people can get like what are they called? Transformations? Not the right word. Demonic possession, right. So they'll like grow limbs and shit and like have eyes in the middle of their chests and things.
was gonna say this guy has like Satan horns right now.
Yeah, yeah. He's their hero, I think. He's their hero. Is their main hero class, but there's a couple of different hero classes. Like the second hero class for Chaos is like a berserker, so double axe wielding dude, looks kind of like a Viking. It's really good. They really capture the art wonderfully. I've got no experience with Mordheim, but I obviously have quite a bit of experience with Warhammer. It was really nice to see. Even the customization system works in such a way where it's like, no, you actually look as if you're building figures, you know, and selecting proper color schemes and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like weird, like almost fucking Quake-like monster on that statue in the middle looks really cool.
Yeah, so some of the maps, I can't remember how many of the maps there are, but there's really atmospheric ones. Like this is a darker one. So you're collecting Wyrdstone. That's basically the whole thing of the game is your band of people, whoever you are. I've got to like collect Wyrdstone, which is warpstone, which is like magical stone basically from the heavens. And you're kind of like, you know, doing shipments off it, almost as if it's like a drug, back to different cartels and things. Different organizations will pay you for you and stuff, and you can get ranks in them. Super interesting meta game because there's also like an actual campaign going on with scripted story missions in addition to all this kind of like skirmish stuff where you're collecting Wyrdstone. And that cool lady with a Mohican, she's a demonette. She's a demon. She's on no one's side. She's just killing people. It's really interesting. There's a lot going on.
I mean, you say there's a lot going on. You just kind of run up and get murdered by these people.
I mean, there's a lot going on the meta level, but even in the camp, even.
I was gonna say the meta level as some like Amazonian pink mohawk woman stands behind you.
Like I said, she's a demonette. She's fucked up. Like she's got more health than like my entire party combined. We're playing a skirmish, so I threw her on the map just for a bit of flavor. It's brutal. This match doesn't actually matter because it's a skirmish match. You've got skirmishes, you've got like multiplayer, obviously. I don't know if there's multiplayer campaigns. I don't know if that's a thing. But you totally take your campaign warband into the multiplayer.
Really? That's
which
cool.
Is quite nice. And you know, unlike XCOM where it was just random people, you were just building for them each match. In this game, there's like a continuity to it. It's cool. So like we've got terror tests, which is what stopped her from charging initially.
I don't know most of these words. You're just like, yeah, okay, this and this does this. I'm like, all I'm seeing is you're kind of walking around this like circular area, being killed by people with Satan horns and pink mohawks.
That's pretty much
as like
Warhammer,
the fucking Zerg start possessing this world on the floor.
Well, you know how Blizzard just stole all of Game Workshop material anyway.
Oh yeah, of course.
They did steal a lot of it, but that's besides the point. It's like this game feels like like I said, I've never played Mordheim, but I don't know if we checked out that Space Hulk game together, but that Space Hulk game felt really like Space Hulk, or at least what I thought Space Hulk was. And this is a similar thing, whereas like this feels like I'm actually playing a tabletop game. I just happen to be playing against a computer, which is a really fun feeling for somebody who has no one to play Warhammer with. And I've, like I said, never played Mordheim.
Do you actually play like the proper? I know you have Warhammer figures, but have you actually ever played the board game of it?
I have in the distant past. I've tried to learn it with a few people, but mostly I just collected them to paint them. I haven't done that in a while. It's because like if they ever brought out Necromunda, which is basically the futuristic version of exactly this, like small gang-based street battles and stuff, but in like a hive city on an Imperial world. If they ever rebranded that and like brought that out again, then I would totally get back into Warhammer. Because punks in trench coats with mohawks is exactly what I need.
Of course.
That's kind of why I like Fallout at the minute. A lot of people wearing like metal scraps and stuff.
Yep. Oh geez, that person got fucked up and now the game's over.
Yeah, that's Mordheim out this week. Really interesting. I was going to review it, but like there's so many fucking games out right now, so we'll have to wait and see. But check out soon. Check that soon. Check back soon. GameDropZone.com.